Hey guys, this is going to be a quick little kind of crappy video. I'm shooting it with my iPhone, hand holding it. I just wanted to get something out, and I've got so much of this stuff stacked up together. Not packed up, stacked up. Well, it sort of is packed up. But I wanted to get all this stuff together and kind of show you what I've been up to. The first step is this box right here. This is just full of CDs. I finally dug out all of my CD collection. There's probably 150 CDs here. A lot of these go back to the early 90s when I started buying CDs. We'll have to eventually go through these. I do have a plan for them. Let's go ahead and do a quick transition and I will go on to the next thing. Okay guys, we're back. Lighting kind of sucks, but unfortunately we've got a lot of things going on and I don't have a ton of extra room on kind of my work table. I'll try and kind of bring you in. The thing you're looking at right now is my Sony receiver that I picked up. It looks like it is an STR-SE501. I picked it up from a vintage record shop in Toledo, Ohio by the name of Allied Record Exchange. It's a really cool place. If you're in Northwest Ohio, feel free to check them out. They're pretty cool. Underneath that is one of the 3 Sony CD players I have. This one is a 5-disc changer. Model number CDP C350Z. I've been just using this one to test everything and test all the box of CDs I just showed you. So this is kind of the test setup along with kind of this, which is what actually started the whole process. This is Poseidon. I'm not sure, it's some weird record player. I got it at a Radio Shack outlet that was going out of sale, or going out of business, I'm sorry. I've heard it also referred to as a Realistic by the same model number. I bought that about a decade ago, threw it into my in-laws' basement, and it sat there until a couple weeks ago, and that's kind of when I got back into it. Let's see what else I can do. So here we go. Here is the next thing. Hello, thing number 1. What you're looking at there is an FM transceiver. I bought it not knowing that the receiver had an FM transceiver in it, so that's kind of extra equipment. The next thing below the transceiver is another 5-disc changer that I picked up. That would be, let's see, can't tell, but that would be a 5-disc changer that I picked up at a thrift store. And then below that is kind of the coup de grace of all of it. It's a Sony 300-disc carousel, so... And that was thing number 3's hand you just saw in the way. He's pounding away on a laptop trying to do some work on some stuff. But as you can see, it's all kind of just sitting here. I've got the record player and one of the 5-disc changers hooked up to the receiver, which is hooked up to some Panasonic speakers that I found at a thrift store. So this is all just to play with, kind of my setup. What's really cool is hardware-wise, I'm about $100 in, so really, you know, that doesn't include the cost of the turntable, which was probably about $20 10 years ago. It's actually a pretty nice turntable. Some interesting features is, I wish this was a switch rather than a button for the speed, but it's there. This is kind of cool with the 6 and 12-inch switch. And then on the front, it's got play, stop, and something called cue. What's really, really nice is you drop a record on there, hit the play button. As long as you've got the speed and the size set correctly, this thing just plays. It's really cool. It's, you know, nice. I mean, it's probably not great, but the fact that it is like 10 years old and new old stock and still works pretty good is pretty awesome. The next step is actually going to be to get all this stuff set up, possibly in a rack. With the extra CD players, I'm probably going to get rid of those. I might try and either trade them or sell them or something. I'm also in the market for, at this point I didn't set out for all Sony equipment, but being as everything else is Sony, I've been pricing some Sony tape decks. I'd like to get a dual tape deck to add to this setup and then be done with it. Let me go ahead and do another transition, and we'll start to go through some of the albums I've picked up recently and some tapes. Okay, and we're back. This is going to be a little bit awkward. I wish I had my stand, but I don't, so we're going to go through some music I've gotten. This is all stuff that I've picked up recently. This doesn't include anything that I've previously owned that I still need to dig out and get into rotation. Let's see how we can do this. We have Bob Dylan, Columbia, Like a Rolling Stone, and Gates of Eden. Never heard Gates of Eden. The Doors, I think we had discussed that. The Crystal Ship, and Light My Fire. Riders on the Storm, and The Changeling, it looks like. Yep. Love Her Madly. You Don't Need the Meat. I've never heard that one. Hello, I Love You. Love Street, that's pretty sweet. Those are two of probably my favorite Doors songs. Here's another pickup. I think it is a original pressing. It's Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding. Not sure what's on the B-side. My Lover's Prayer. Never heard of that one. People Are Strange. And Unhappy Girl. I think I've heard that once or twice. I wouldn't call it one of my favorites. This I got just because it was $2 and it was too cool not to get. It is the Commodores doing Brick House, and then Captain Quick Draw on the B side. Most of these, well, all the singles got picked up from Allied Record Exchange. All of the tapes were a grab bag from an Allied Record Exchange, and most of the albums are Allied Record Exchange. What do we got here? We've got the single for Beck, Loser. Winger, I don't know about that one. Steppenwolf's Greatest Hits, I think I actually used to have that on LP back in the day. In Excess's Greatest Hits, which it's got The Devil Inside, and I think New Sensation, and those are the only two that I really remember off of that. So there's that. The Byrds' Greatest Hits, it's got Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn, Turn, Turn. As for the rest of these, I don't know them. Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears. I've actually owned this on CD, but it's still kind of cool to get that. The Beach Boys, I've tried to give this to everyone. My father-in-law, my kids. Nobody wants it. Well, thing number 3 says he wants the Beach Boys, so he can have it.
It is a good, they are good.
The Doors' Greatest Hits. This is another one of those things that I own on cassette tape, but I don't know where the cassette tape is. But if I find it, I've got 2 copies. If not, I've got a copy. Foreigner Double Vision. It's got Hot Blooded on it. That's pretty much the only thing I need. Let me go ahead and get all this stuff reset, and we'll go through the albums. And now we're back for the final transition. This is the Best of the Doors, which was a Greatest Hits album. I've got this one on double CDs, so it's always kind of cool to have the original vinyl and see the artwork. This, The Doors 13, it's one of those interesting things. I had never heard of it. However, looking at what's on it, it's kind of a Greatest Hits album, so maybe it was Greatest Hits before Greatest Hits was really a thing. This is one of the 5 horsemen of the apocalypse of heavy metal, in my opinion. Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast. I've listened to like 30 seconds of it, but can't wait to listen to more of it. Here is another one of the 5 horsemen, as I put it. Megadeth's Rust in Peace, so we picked that up. Bob Seger, Night Moves is the album. Pretty much I wanted it for Rock and Roll Never Forgets, Night Moves, The Fire Down Below, and Main Street, which are the only songs I know off of that album. Here is the Doors' first album. I've seen this in a couple places. The place I got it from was not really a vintage record store, but had records. The problem is it skips at the end of one of the sides on one of the songs. I cannot remember which, but it's not the best, but I've got that on tape and CD already, so it's not a big deal. Another one of the 5 horsemen of the apocalypse. This is one of the first metal albums of all time that I started listening to in like 1988 at like 12 years old. This is another one of the 5 Horsemen, so that's 4 of the 5 that I own. I'm still looking for the 5th. Another good album that I started listening to when I was like 12 years old in 88. Here is 2 other random albums we got, mainly for my wife because they're more nostalgia than anything else. As for all the rest of these, I said I had 4 of the 5 Horsemen of the Apocalypse as far as I'm concerned. The 5th being Megadeth's Symphony of Destruction, which I've seen, but it was a very special edition that had a clear jacket and had an image on the record, and I wasn't willing to pay what the cost was for it at that point. But at that point, or at this point, it brings you up to speed as to where I am. I need to get all this stuff set up, and then we'll do more videos. I'd love to play a little bit of this for you, but I don't want to run afoul with any of the copyright stuff. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.
Bye.
Is that all you want to say? You don't want to say anything else?
No. Bye.
Bye. That was thing number 1, thing number 2, and wife number 1. Thank you. Bye.